everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, my project today is super fun. It's gonna have you craving some popcorn. It's using the June 2026 card kit called Step Right Up. It's an amazing kit that has lots of bells and whistles to it. And today we're breaking out one of the dies. There's 4 dies in the kit, and this is the 3D popcorn box. So we're gonna make some popcorn and popcorn with a lot of dimension, because Simon included some goodies in the kit that will just bring the popcorn to life. So we'll be using this die set. The stamp set is fabulous. You can decorate the popcorn box with the stamp set, and there's a lot of great greetings in here, a lot of starbursts. We'll be using this on our card. And today we're not making an A2 card. We're gonna use the note cards that came in the kit. The note cards here are, once they're folded, are 3.5 inches wide by 4 7/8 inch tall. The note cards are a fabulous weight. They're 3.5 inches wide by 4 7/8 inch tall. So it'll fit perfectly our little popcorn box that we're going to be making. I'm also going to be using something that's brand new to Simon. These are card panels. It has some fabulous patterns on them. So we'll be using this, and then some of our Schoolhouse Red cardstock. We're going to be using our Scattered Straw Distress Oxide ink. We're going to use, this is so neat. This is White Heat and Fluff. This is new from Simon, and this really adds so much dimension. This is one of those things too that will be great for Christmas time. I know Christmas in July is coming around the corner, and if you like adding fluff to your stockings or Santa's beard, this stuff is going to do the trick fabulously. I'm also bringing in the Tim Holtz Ideology ticket book, and I love that you don't have to cut the tickets out. It's done for you. So we're going to put all these together and create a cute little popcorn box. And we're going to do this in a 5-step formula. What I mean by 5 steps is, usually when I make my cards, I like to go in 5 steps. It makes the breakdown really easy. Step 1 was my focal point, and that's what we're going to be doing with the popcorn box here. So let's go ahead and create a popcorn box. I'm keeping out the Distress Oxide ink because we're going to be doing a little bit of ink blending. I have some white cardstock. I'm just going to open up my scattered straw. It's like the perfect color of popcorn. And I'm going to add some color, some light and dark color, to one of the sections on this. Okay, I'm going to bring in my distress sprayer. I'm going to add a little bit of water to this. We're going to oxidize some of this. It's just going to add even more texture. I'm just going to dab off any excess water. And then, using our die sets, let's do some die cutting. I'm going to take this piece and die cut this out with the white cardstock here. And then we have the popcorn elements. We're going to die cut out some popcorn. We have 4 popcorn pieces, and I'll probably double these up and die cut out 8 to 10 pieces using our colored cardstock here. This little element here, I'm going to die cut out with white cardstock also. Okay, I will run all of these through my die cut machine, and I'll be right back. My die cutting is all done. And we have 4 popcorn dies in the set. Okay, I die cut all 4 out 4 times. So we have lots of, I may have extra, but I always like to have more than less. Now we're going to add a little dimension to our popcorn using our heat and fluff. I'm bringing my tweezers, and we're just going to pop this open here. And I'm going to add a little bit of this on the edges of the popcorn. Just like this. Now, using my heat gun, I'm going to melt it. And let me show you the results. Can you see the dimension that that gives? It looks exactly like popcorn. I'm also going to bring back my scattered straw. I'm going to put some on my glass surface. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it with a water brush, just to thin it out. And then I'm going to add some color actually over so it looks a little extra buttery. Okay, we're going to put this to the side and I'm going to repeat the process. I'm just adding it to one side. We'll melt it. So much fun. Let's add a little color here. And that one is good to go. Now I'm gonna do about 7 or 8 more. Some of them I'm just gonna leave plain, but I'll do 7 or 8 more and then I'll be right back. Now I said I was only gonna do a little bit more, but I actually did them all because it was so much fun. And I do want to mention that you can actually make your popcorn toasty. You can see I got a little too close to my heat gun. You can actually toast up the popcorn, which I did on several pieces because I just think it adds to the character of the popcorn. Since we did all of the popcorn, I'm also going to use my heat and fluff on this top piece. I'm just going to add some little sections here, maybe hit and missing. And we're going to fluff up some popcorn on this piece too. So now we have some popcorn here. It's so fun. I am going to add a little bit of butter on some of them. Not all, not all of my popcorn has butter. I did leave some of it white because I think it looks just like popcorn. I'm going to go ahead and clean off the nozzle and then we will put the cap back on. And our popcorn is all done. Now we need to work on our popcorn box. To do that, we need our stamp set. We'll put this to the side. We'll just pick up some ink here. And I believe we start in the middle with this. Give that a good press. And then we have some fun stripes on here. Okay, all you do is reinforce those score lines. Just fold them in. And I should have mentioned, but when I die cut out this stuff, I actually use the lighter weight cardstock. So this is not 100 pound. I would say it's 80 pound cardstock to do this. I'm going to fold in this flap. You can see this little flap here. Fold it in, and then just using your glue, add some glue to that flap. Give it a minute to grab. Basically, you're just creating a little box. I'm actually going to fold it flat and give it a good press. And then I'll fold it the other way and give it a good press. And look, there is our cute little popcorn box. And our popcorn will fit perfectly in here. It's so cute. I just think this is so adorable. Let's finish off our box by adding our label. We're going to add it here. And now's the fun part. I am going to bring in some small foam squares. Even though we have dimension with the popcorn, I'm still going to bring in some foam squares because this way we can add different layers on the inside of our popcorn. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple layers of small foam squares here on the inside. And then just using my tweezers, we're just going to tuck our popcorn in here. So fun. And then I can add a little glue, and then we can add the rest. I'm going to add some popcorn on the outside here too, because I want it to look like it's kind of overflowing. There we go. And then I'm going to save the rest to put on the bottom of this. So this is basically my first step, which is my focal point. For my second step, I call a home panel, and what I mean by home panel is just something to put my focal point on. I like layers, and so if that's what step number 2 is, a place to put my popcorn. So I'm going to use one ticket from my ticket book. Some of these larger ones are horizontal, and some of them are vertical. I'm going to take the ones that are vertical. And I'm thinking I really like this one. So we're going to trim this out. We will trim one of these tickets out. Actually, are they perforated? We don't even need scissors. We can actually use the perforated edges here to trim these out. It actually adds a nice little detail. Do the same here. I think this is going to make a great home panel. I'm also going to grab a couple more tickets to put next to it, and I really like the tickets that say admit one, so a couple extra tickets. I'm going to use my glue and go ahead and tape these down. Once we have this done, I'm actually going to do one more thing to this. Okay, we're going to bring in our stamp set, and I really like this burst here. We are going to do some heat embossing with this burst. So let's take this. I think that will work. And then using my Simon Says Stamp white pigment ink, we're going to go over that burst and stamp directly on those tickets. I'm going to stamp it a few more times because we are stamping over layers. Wonderful. Now I'm going to take some white embossing powder. Let's go over that burst, over the tickets with white embossing powder. And then I'll use my heat gun and we're going to melt it. And then that's all we're doing with this. We're going to put this with our popcorn. Now we're going to stamp our greeting. And that's always my third step, is stamping my greeting. Let's bring back our stamp set. And I'm going to stamp Poppin' In to Say Hello. We're going to heat emboss with the white embossing powder on some of our Schoolhouse Red cardstock. And again, I'm going to treat my paper here with my anti-static powder. I'm going to stamp with my same white pigment ink. And then I will add my embossing powder. And then we'll go ahead and melt this. Lovely. And then using my paper trimmer, I'm going to trim this into a sentiment strip. So there's my greeting. I did leave it a little long on this side and then enough room because I think I'm going to fishtail the end here. But let's go ahead and take our popcorn and layer it on our ticket. I'm going to add some glue here. And then we will tack this down so it's overhanging on this side a little bit, so you could still see some of that burst. And I only did one side, so the other side is popping up. Wonderful. Okay, now we're going to add our greeting. Now for my greeting, I fishtailed the end on this side, and then this side I left about maybe 3/4 of an inch on the right side. This way we can layer some extra popcorn pieces. I'm going to put this over the bottom. There we go. And then I want it to look like my popcorn's popping out everywhere. So we're going to add a few popcorn pieces on the top, and then we're going to add some over here. And let's just fill it in with some exploding popcorn. Okay, so now we have a popcorn explosion. Just to give this a little bit more of a distressed look, I went ahead and took the tickets and I actually frayed the ends a little bit to give it a little bit more of a distressed look. Okay, and then this is all done. We're going to put this to the side and work on our next step, which is step 4, and it's our background. I trimmed down, or I quartered, that sheet of Simon Says Stamps Fun and Games card panels. We're going to be using the stripes here. Okay, I'm going to trim this down. Okay, and then I'm also going to trim down some of our Schoolhouse Red cardstock to the same size as our note card. So this will cover the front of the note card. Let's go ahead and adhere this down. I trimmed this down to a 2-inch tall strip. I'm going to place this at the bottom here. About a 1/2 inch up from the bottom. Okay, any overhanging I'm just going to trim away. And then I'm going to take our tickets and we're going to layer this right over the top. So it's about so the tickets are now going to be about 1/2 inch from the left side. I'm going to bring in a corner rounder and around the corner on top here. The one that I'm using is from Spellbinders, but you could use a crocodile. Okay, now my next step, which is my final step, is step 5. I always like to embellish my card. With this card, I'm going to bring in my Simon Says stamp Pawsitively Perfect Gold Splatter Medium. I'm going to shake it up really good. And we're going to add some splatter. Can't go wrong with gold splatter. Wonderful. And then lastly, I'm bringing in some liquid pearls. This is Bisque. And we're just going to add a few extra little dots in the background. I'll tap it a few times. That way the liquid pearls flatten a little bit. And then that will finish off my card today. I hope you get a chance to check out the Simon Says Stamp June 2026 card kit. And I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration. Thanks so much for joining us today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.